Welcome in to the very first edition of Inside the AF1, a new weekly show of Rebound Off the Net. I'm your host, Joshua Cox. All season long, we'll be talking to guests from around the league, taking a look back at games from the previous weekend, giving our picks for next weekend's games, and taking your questions all night long. To start off this week, we have two guests who will later be joined by Orlando Predators assistant Marcus Manuel. But to start things off tonight, we welcome back the AF1 Director of Football Opps, Gary Compton. Gary, appreciate your time tonight, man.
Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
First off, Gary, you're down there in Naples, Florida at the National Scouting Combine, which is partnered with the AF1. Tell us a little bit about that partnership and how things are going down there.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity with the National Scouting Combine. We got about 168 guys that are down here that we're able to evaluate. Some are draft eligible guys, that are looking to try to, have an opportunity to get to the NFL. Some are free agents, which we can get our hands on immediately with that. So we're just did a lot of testing today. The testing that the NSC does is second to none. It's, so right up there with the NFL combine testing. Jimmy does a great job with all of that. And, getting to watch the guys from three cone to lateral, to short shuttle, to the 40, to the broad jump, bench, tracer testing, which we can track their movements and all of that. It was a great day today. We'll get on the field tomorrow, which we all like to see because you can have great test takers and all of that, and can they perform on the field? So we'll get them out on the field tomorrow, have coaches that are here now. They'll be able to get their hands on these guys, be able to run them through some different things that they want to do, and then kind of get a full evaluation of it.
Absolutely, yeah. We're about a month out from the season. How are you feeling about where things are at with the league right now as we enter the home stretch and here coming off the owners meeting earlier this week?
Yeah, the owners meeting was great. We like to do that here before the start of the season. Training camp's rolling right around the corner. We'll have our week 0 game, or we'll have 2 games, with the 4 teams playing, and then we'll jump into week 1 with everybody else. So everybody's excited. Everybody's full board. Everybody's finishing up, getting what all they got to get done, tightening up their rosters, making sure, they can bring 35 guys into camp. They don't have to, but they can. So everybody's trying to get their rosters finalized, adjusted. That's why coaches are down here trying to find if there's any last-minute players that they want to sign, utilize to trim the roster down before everybody goes to camp.
The league announced earlier this week Evergreen now will be the league's streaming partner, and we announced earlier that Vice TV games will be on. Tell us a little about these partnerships with the AF1.
So Evergreen, a great platform we're using. They're actually down here with me now. They're shooting all kinds of footage with all the different players in the testing. We just did interviews with all coaches, doing interviews with players that we're interested in. So that's a great partnership with that. Mr. Kurz and him had set that up. It's owned by, obviously, the family that owns the Guardians, Cleveland Guardians. They have a lot of arena football past experience. They wanted to jump on board with our product and everything, obviously, with the relationship that we have. So that's a win-win for us. Then, obviously, Vice TV, it's going to do the Sunday afternoon broadcast games and everything. So having those 2 platforms right now, there's still some other things in the works that we're still trying to wait on, but to have different avenues to be able to showcase our league, will be second to none.
Will the things in the works possibly be for 2025, or will that be later on down the road possibly?
Hoping for 2025. With that, I know we're trying to, finalize some other things and then get everything ready to go.
Yeah. The league also announced a deal with TransFinder as the official game ball sponsor. Tell us a little about that partnership.
Excuse me. Yeah, Mike Warta, obviously in Albany, was able to get TransFinder to come on. They're a company out of Albany there to be our league football sponsor. So we have an unveiling tomorrow, it sounds like, and all of that. So everybody will kind of see it. But TransFinder will be on our football on one panel of it. And, they'll have on-field promotions and some things like that that we'll do league-wide. So we're glad to have them on as our national sponsor.
I'm going to get to a few fan questions here that got sent in. Ryan wanted to know about tickets availability for the teams. Some of the teams don't have tickets out yet. Can you speak to that a little bit?
As far as, I'm not sure what teams do not. I know that I know in Arizona, their tickets at venue are lined up, getting ready to have that set up. I think Albany's tickets are on sale. Salina's tickets are on sale. I know Oregon's got their stuff on sale. Washington has theirs. Orlando has theirs. So I know mostly everybody's getting everything lined up and ready to go. The format of what some people have to understand is maybe a team they won't play for the third week at home. So it's not like a ticket right now, we're getting ready to start. They see, it's still that window. So they're lining everything up. Everybody's got their schedule of when they have to put their tickets on sale. We discussed all this, talked about this at the league meetings, and, be able to have ample amount of time for everybody to get those tickets, get those seats, and get ready to watch some AF1.
A few more fan questions here. One wanted to know, what's your thoughts on Sunday night games? Is there concerns about attendance for Sunday night games?
We wanted to obviously do something different and all of that. Vice came to us and, what do we think about Sunday nights? And I think any night is great. Can't really say, well, you base everything off of theory. Sunday nights are usually the night before work or whatever. Thursday nights don't work. Football's football. We all know that. It's on all the time, So we think a Sunday night broadcast, a national broadcast, will be good, with that, and we're looking forward to having those teams on there and having that partner.
Absolutely. Yeah, I had a few questions regarding Nashville. Anything you could say about Nashville, and can you assure fans they'll play in 2025?
Yeah, Nashville's going to play. They're working hard, and committed to film the team this year. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that's trying to get done right now. So to ensure that, we continue to have that and build on it. So can't comment further at this time with it, but just know that they are getting everything prepared.
Last fan question I had come in so far, Arizona's arena situation. Will they be announcing their arena sometime soon here?
Yeah, like I said, their tickets and their venue are lined up. That is confirmed. That's coming in the coming days as well. Where the people will be able to get online and be able to get their tickets, and looking forward to playing in that arena that they'll have as well.
Back to some questions I had. I know Wichita announced they were going dormant this year. There hadn't been much from the league regarding them. Is there any hope they will come back in 26? And where do things stand with their franchise right now?
Yeah, you always hate to have anybody go dormant in a league. We all know that, but you got to make sure that everybody's put in the right situations, from the ownership group down to the league level and everything. We're very happy, very excited for them to come back in 2026. That allows them to kind of get some things straightened out and continue to move forward with that, then hopefully be able to add, as we all want to do every year, add, a couple of expansion teams and continue to grow.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the rules a little bit. No 3 or 4 point plays this year, where we are bringing back the deuce, but pretty traditional scoring outside of that. What went into the decision to nix the 3 and 4 point plays? I know they caused a lot of excitement for fans in some games last year.
Yeah, I know they caused, a lot of excitement for fans. We were trying. This was a coach's decision. We voted on this back in Chicago, and everything. Just thought about, taking it out, moving forward, kind of keeping, I say it, traditional football, with the way that it'll be. It's going to be high scoring anyway, exciting. The deuce is still involved in that. So, we kept that part of it, to allow that with the kickers and everything. But we just felt like we wanted to move away from the 3 and 4 point play that was, established in the AFL and all of that, as we're trying to, we're establishing our own and our rules, and, to have the regular 1 point if you kick, or, deuce and things like that. So keep scoring back to the way it used to be.
Yeah. I know there'll be no Ironman this year. Any chance of going back to Ironman in the future? Do you see things kind of going the way they're going to be now?
I'm an Ironman junkie because it's what the game was raised on. However, people are specialized now. There's a lot of different things that go into it, with coaching strategies, having a ref, having to make sure all of that. We felt like, they can still go Ironman if they want to. There's not saying they can't. And I'm sure there'll probably be some teams that will utilize players on both sides, which I'd be excited to see. But I think, we go back to that specialized part of it. You got your 21-man roster. You utilize them how you want to. And, like I said, you may see a few teams using a couple guys on both sides of the ball.
Any other major rule changes as we head into 2025?
No. I think, a lot of that is all pretty, everything's pretty standard. We adjusted, like I said, the rule book a little bit with the, the point afters and things of that nature. But all the dead balls on kicks, balls out of bounds, things of that, everything all stays the same.
Kind of talking about the future here a little bit. Any potential on seeing a draft in the future? I know the USFL has tried that before. Any thought on doing that in the AF1 in the future?
Josh, we were talking about this today down here with the combine and everything. And, how could we establish a draft of players, and everything. And I think right now, it's hard because you got to have that nucleus of players. We can put a bunch of players in a place and draft them, and it doesn't mean they're coming to these teams. You know what I mean? So I think maybe that's something further down that we'll discuss. But I would like to see it get to that point, down in the future. But right now, we will not have a draft.
Yeah. Another fan question come in. Will trades be allowed during the season?
Trades? Yes. Yeah. We'll have trades the normal way and all of that. If coaches want to get another player or whatever, we can trade back and forth between teams and everything. Exactly.
That's good. Know you follow a lot of player signings and you're watching these teams being built. Do you think there's a favorite this season or favorites to win the championship?
Put me on the spot there, huh? Obviously, if you're a champion until you're knocked off, right? We know Albany's heavily loaded, with that, Orlando. I just like to see good football and, want to see our teams, do the best they can and see who comes out in 2025 as a winner.
On another note, do you see a sleeper team, a team that somebody doesn't expect to maybe be that great, but they might be great?
Ooh, those teams in the Midwest, Salina, Southwest Kansas, are always good. They're solid. And Coach O'Neill, Coach Thomas does a great job there. But as far as a sleeper, I don't know. That'd be interesting.
I know the schedule has been changed since we last talked. Tell us a little about the process that was like. I feel like we got some better games on the schedule. What do you think about how that turned out?
Excuse me. Yeah, we did the, obviously when you have a team go dormant, you got to try to, figure things out schedule-wise and all of that. So, put a lot of effort into our schedule and everything. I think there's a lot of great matchups, within the divisions and everything, cross rivalries and, some things like that. So it'll be an interesting year, see who gets out fast, who gets out slow, and then, where they're going to be about mid-season and what happens from there.
What are some games that you're most excited about this year?
Obviously the Billings or Albany game is the big one. I think that whole South Division, the Nashville, the Orlando's, Albany's, that's, the black and blue you like to see each week. Be interested to see kind of, what Arizona, Oregon does out in the Pacific Northwest and the West there. So it'd be exciting times, most definitely.
Can you tell us a little about the playoff and what the playoff structure is going to look like from what you can say now?
Yeah, so the playoffs stay the same. What we're going to probably do is we're going to probably go into a winning percentage because we kind of have the odd number of teams right now. So we'll base it off of, the winning percentage. And then obviously, if you're the 1 seed all the way through, having that home seed as the Arena Bowl.
I'm assuming the term Arena Bowl can't be used anymore. Is there going to be a new name for the championship game?
A great question. We haven't come up with that yet. Obviously, we want to try to get, to that part and everything. Maybe that'd be a big announcement that we will, that we'll do. But as far as that, we're trying to get training camp in. We're trying to get week 0. We're trying to get week 1, work your way all the way through. But it'll be interesting what different type of names that, we could come up with and all of that and, make it different and all of that. It's AF1 now. So, we're branding off and doing some different things. So it'll be exciting to see.
Absolutely. A couple more questions, Gary. Do you have a message for AF1 fans out there that you want to get out?
It's going to be a great year. Obviously, you have a lot of people, and we were talking about this today. I was doing an interview. You always have your naysayers and all of that. And, as I always say, if you keep everything in between your walls and all that, you don't have to worry about things. Just that, what? We got a great league. We got great people running the league. It's going to be an exciting time. We have great ownership group. We have great teams, coaches. You look at what all we've done with our platforms of, how we're going to showcase our games and all of that. Sit back, buckle your seatbelt up, make sure you go buy your tickets. You're definitely going to want to be there, and it's going to be a great ride in 25.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Last question before I get you out of here, Gary. Super Bowl this weekend. Who are you rooting for and who are you picking in the game?
Man, you know what? I'm a Cowboys fan so bad. So I'd like to see the Chiefs win, but I'm tired of seeing the Chiefs win. But again, I just think that nobody's better in the clutch than Patrick Mahomes. It's just one of those. The only way you can beat him is not leave any time on the clock. If he has any time on the clock and all that, it's not good. So I'm going to probably go to Kansas City to see them three-peat. And if that happens, that'll be the first time in history that we've seen this. So they're going into uncharted waters. Obviously, they're the favorites, with that, but I'd have to say the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm a Cowboys fan too. So it's hard for me too. So
Right,
I don't want to see the Chiefs repeat. So
absolutely.
Actually, one more question, just because you said that, what do you think about the Shoddy hire for the Dallas Cowboys?
Oh boy. That's a Jerry hire. Jerry, you hear him say this couldn't be more out of the box. Okay, hiring someone that had never had an experience, but you got someone that's in that organization, and I hate to say it, they still got control over. Okay, until Jerry Jones leaves and gets out of there. Okay, and would love to see Will McClay run it. Will and I go back forever. He's been there forever. But I think he probably felt it was best internally. But if you kind of look at it, there's a lot of people out there that he passed up, with that. So I guess we're going to wait and see what happens. We keep telling ourselves every year, don't we? Hey, it's going to be okay. This is the time. And then we get disappointed. So we'll have to wait and see.
The life of a Cowboys fan. I know, for those that don't know, Will McClay was a former arena football coach for the Dallas Desperados too. So
absolutely,
that would be very interesting. But Gary, appreciate the time tonight, man. We'll talk soon.
All right, thank you.
All right, guys, we'll be back in just a minute. I'm going to try to get Coach Manuel on from Orlando. Be back in just a minute. All right, we are back. Coach Manuel, how are you doing tonight?
How's it going, man?
All right. Welcome on. Glad to have you back. Coach, what year is this for you here in Orlando, and how's your off season been?
This is year 5 for me. Off season has definitely been very busy, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Absolutely. Tell fans how you got involved in the game and started coaching there in Orlando.
Well, I had been coaching in the area for a while, in different levels, all the way from youth, high school to whatever. And then me and Barry Wagner had befriended each other some years ago. And Barry had actually talked to me about, he was like, hey, man, you ever thought about coaching with the Predators? And I never had really thought about it. And it's funny because I used to attend some Predator games. I was buddies with TT Tolliver. So I have pictures with TT and my kids at some of the Predator games. And then, when Barry approached me about that, and then he put me in touch with Ben Bennett, who was the head coach at the time. And he was like, yeah, man, you really need to think about, being a coach. And I met with Ben one day and, we chopped it up a little bit and then the rest was history. And here we are 5 years later.
Wow, absolutely. Yeah. There's a guy on your roster named Marcus Manuel Jr. I hear he's your son. You look like a really young dude. How are you old enough to have a kid playing pro ball?
I'm actually, first things first. Yes, he is my son. I have 3 sons: Donovan, Marcus, and Amari, who have come up, knowing Dad's thing for football, and they certainly have been, balling and doing their thing. My son Donovan is an inspiring rapper. He has a lot of music out. And then my youngest 2 have been playing ball, and they just wrapped up at Andrew College in Georgia. So, they wanted to come out and give it a test, and they did well, and here we are with Marcus Jr. He's definitely a very talented ball player. They've been watching the game over the years since I've been with the organization. So, it felt good signing them, and I'm looking forward to seeing, what the future holds. And, I'm hoping, some things can happen, some big things can happen, and we kind of go from there. But yeah, that's one of my kids, and he'll be out there.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about his journey. Yeah, what positions has he played, kind of that sort of thing in school and that kind of thing.
He's a wide receiver. He's a wide receiver. He played here locally at Timber Creek High School. And he was actually him and my youngest son Amari actually had come up together, and they have been doing well. Marcus was on the Deion Sanders underclassmen watch list, Under Armour underclassmen watch list. So he had actually been to Camp Wichador Sanders and worked out with him, and was doing some big things. He was on the Under Armour watch list, All-American watch list, and went to Timber Creek. Did pretty solid. Their offensive system wasn't one, it was more so run game than pass. So, it didn't really work in his favor. And then he went up to college in Jersey, a JUCO in Jersey, and then ended up going to Andrew College, him and his younger brother, Amari, where both of them, did pretty solid, and here we are now.
Absolutely. You'll have the entire coaching staff, I believe, returning for 2025. How big is that for you all for that continuity and what you're building there in Orlando?
Well, yeah, we definitely, for us, it was really kind of a no-brainer. Returning the whole coaching staff, the cohesiveness with the coaches, myself, EJ and EJ's vision, and Sip and Coach Rick, man, we just, we're guys that we just bond well on the field and even off the field. We bond. So it was an easy thing to kind of return, and keep, what's that saying, keep the band together. So it was easy to keep the band together, and here we are, man. And it's, I'm looking forward to an exciting season.
Absolutely. Coach, I remember the last time I talked to you was right before all hell broke loose last year, the first week of the season. How do you feel going into the season as things seem to be a little bit more calm right now?
Yeah, I'm optimistic. You know what I mean? It's for me, I just feel like I want to focus on the things I have control over and the things that, are in front of me. Certain things I don't have control over. So my thing is to try not to let it stress me. Although at times that's very difficult, but just focus on the things that I have control over. And as long as I put those things together nicely and I do my job, then, everything else will fall into place however it does.
Absolutely. What most excites you about the AF1 this season and this year?
The competition. The competition excites me. Definitely some quality teams. And look, that's not taking anything away from any of the other leagues, because there are definitely some quality teams in the other leagues. But the AF1 has, we got some quality teams in the league. Us, Nashville, Albany, Billings, Salina. Quality teams, even Oregon. I think me and Coach Jones talk quite often. I think they're trying to do some good things out there, man. So, the teams, being a part of this inaugural season with this league and being able to kind of, lay our own foundation and footprints in this league. Those are things that excite me.
Y'all had a tough loss to Nashville in the playoffs last season. I thought y'all had
Yes.
a decent chance to win it all. Does the loss light a fire under you as you enter 2025?
Of course. For me, any loss lights a fire. But when you have one at that level, when you're talking about season-ending playoff, well, of course, it definitely lights a fire, man. Nashville, it's one of those games that I've replayed in my head. I've watched the film, I've replayed it in my head over and over again. Thought about the mistakes we made and the things we could have done differently. But Nashville was a better team that day, man. They came in and did their thing, and they were deserving of the win, and they did their thing. So, but yeah, it definitely lights a fire under us, and it's something that we can carry into 2025.
Absolutely. For those that don't know, you're the line coach. How is both sides of the line looking as head in 2025, and who's going to be some of your key guys on both sides of the line?
Line-wise, man, we have I think we have upgraded. We've definitely made some significant upgrades in certain areas. On the defensive side, we have Shockey Holiness, which Shock is, to me, hands down, probably one of the best defensive ends in any indoor football league. And then you add Shahan Williams, who is right there with them, as far as quality defensive ends, man. Those are solid guys. And then we have a couple young guys, Nick, who's going to come in and do well, and we got some monsters in the middle. So, on the defensive side, we definitely, I think overall we've upgraded. On the offensive side, we brought back Torrey Boyd, who played with us last year. He's very physical up front. He's a monster, has played in a couple other leagues, indoor and outdoor, and we expect major things from him. We brought back Kobe Rios. Kobe, big monster of a kid. He was a rookie last year. We expect big things from him. And then we've added a couple other pieces that we think will mesh well, and then also go along with the vision that Coach EJ has and the coaches have for the 2025 season and foreseeable future.
Absolutely. Y'all have one of the most difficult schedules in the league last year. I was looking at this. Y'all played Billings twice, at Billings and at home. That's outside of the East Division with Albany, Nashville, and Wilkes-Barre. How do you feel about this, and also playing the reigning champs this year, plus your schedule?
I do see that we I think we have everybody that's a top team in the league for the most part, if I'm not mistaken. We got like you say, we got Billings, we got Nashville, we got Albany, You know, anybody that's, you know, that probably is preseason top, whatever, we have them on our schedule. For me personally, I'm a competitor, man. So I welcome it. I welcome it. It's going to allow us to really see where we stand. You know, it's not a soft schedule. So, you know, a lot of teams, you can build a soft schedule and you go into playoff and championships games with a, you know, an amazing record, but you've never been tested. So when you finally get tested, you don't look like the same team. And I think for us, we're going to be tested quite often throughout the season. So we'll know where we stand and if we're a quality team or not. So I welcome it. I love it.
They say in the NFL that Florida teams can't win in the cold. Thankfully, you're going to be in an arena. But are you going to be able to survive going from Orlando to Billings?
Man, you know, I love, you know, the situation that we're in, and, you know, indoor, outdoor, man. Let's play some football. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. How do you feel about the roster overall? We talked about the line a little bit, but do you feel like this roster overall is better than what we had last year?
Overall, yes. You know, overall, I do feel like we are competitive at every position. You know, I think, and that's not taking nothing away from my guys from last year, because we certainly have a few guys that I'm like, wow, I would love to bring back from last season, but for whatever reason we were unable to do so. But I think that this roster is very talented. You know, you got quarterback Andre Sale, and we got a couple other quarterbacks. All three of the quarterbacks we have are going to be very competitive. You know, we brought in Dez Maxwell, who, to me, I think Dez is probably going to be one of the top fullbacks in the league. You know, we have him returning. You look at C.J. Williams, C-Dub, Clarence Williams. When you look at him, statistically last season, he was the second best wide receiver in the league in the AFL. Statistically, the second best wide receiver in the league, which is crazy because dude was second team all league, but he statistically had the second best statistics, you know, stats outside of Darius Prince. You know, he's returned, and you know, I connected with him last week. He's very hungry. We got Lex Rosario, who came over from another team in another league. Lex is ready to roll, man. He's, you know, the receiver core is very solid. We got Lonnie Outlaw coming back. Lonnie is ready to ball. Who else? Josh Jenkins is with us, you know, again. So we have a number of pieces, man. This roster, like I say, this roster across the board is very, very exciting, and I'm looking forward to coming into camp. We also got a nice nucleus of young guys who have not played indoor ball before, but just guys that are very hungry and ready to get at it. So I'm looking forward to, you know, starting camp and getting everything going.
Absolutely. You're also the director of player personnel. You do a lot of the contracts. What have you seen a difference in recruiting this year? I know the pay is not quite as good as last year. So how's that been as far as recruiting players?
Well, you know, I will say, you know, I hit the road. I coached in. There was a free agent game pretty much in Philadelphia in November. You know, and I coached in that game, which was it, and it was crazy because we were out there. It was college guys, and we played against Team America, which travels to other countries and plays other teams in other countries. And I had the opportunity to coach against them with a bunch of young kids who were all looking for an opportunity to get on to, you know, professional organizations. And there was scouts from the Canadian League, other arena teams, and the other league as well, the AFA, the IFA, the whatever league that is. They were out there. So we, you know, I was up in Philadelphia with that game, coaching and scouting. A couple weeks ago, we were down at the Tropical Bowl here in Orlando, and then before that, we were at the other College Bowl game here in Orlando. So we've been, getting out and scouting and recruiting guys, and really just trying to, build a solid roster and build a solid roster of good, young, solid, ball players.
Absolutely. Y'all went 4-8 in 2023, and you can become a playoff team last season. So you took a step forward. What do you think it's going to take for y'all to take the next step and win a championship this year?
Consistency. We have to be consistent as a team. And I think for whatever reasons, last season with the scheduling and teams dropping out and this and that and third, like our record probably would have been even better last season. But that once again, that's one of those things that we don't control. This year, just come into the game, and we need guys to be consistent, and we need guys to be hungry, and just come out, listen to the coaches, and do what they need to do. And I think that we will definitely improve.
Two-part question for you. What's your favorite part about coaching for the Orlando Predators? And also, you all have one of the nicest cities to live in. What's your favorite part about living in Orlando?
So for me, man, Orlando, I'm not an Orlando native. I'm originally from Tampa, which is about an hour or so away down the highway. And it's funny because, my young adulthood was spent, being around the Tampa Bay Storm. So I was around that organization for so much. And then, of course, I knew who the Predators were. And then to come here and be a part of this city and this organization. One thing that I would say that is my favorite part as far as this place is the fans. Our fans are amazing, man. Like, I'll be honest, the fans, I can't say enough about our fans, man. They are absolutely amazing. I love them to death. I love, win or lose, they support us. Hopefully this year we win more games than we lose. And, I love the fans. I love the fans. And what was the other part of your question?
What do you like most about living in Orlando?
Living in Orlando, family, man. I'm very close to my family. I have nieces, nephews here. My in-laws are here. My other family members are, an hour down the road. I just love being around my family, man. You say I look young, but I'm actually 50 years old, man. I'm a granddad now. Wow. I have 2 grandkids. So, just being here close to my grandkids, I get to spend time with my grandkids and be with my family. I that's the biggest thing for me, just, that I love being here with my family and having family around me. My family at home games for Orlando, man, they come and show out. We're talking, I'm probably about 15 to 20 family members every home game. And they love it. My family loves the Preds. It's a big part of what they do. And it's crazy because I have 2 nieces that it's funny that we play on a Saturday. Every Sunday I have to it's almost like I have to have a meeting with them to discuss what we did the night before, them and my godson, to discuss what we did the night before and why we call this play and that play and why this player, that player. So my family is just as involved in it as I am, man. It's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. First game of the season at Southwest Kansas. What do you think about that game and going against the Storm? They kind of got better as the season went on last year.
Yeah, and I think that they are going to. It's going to be a competitive game. It's going to be a good game for us to see where we stand. I know they're going to bring it. So I'm looking forward to a good game. It's definitely, it's going to be a very competitive game, and we need to bring our A game in order to beat them. So that's the way that I see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Last question before I get you out of here, Coach. Who you rooting for in the Super Bowl this weekend, and who do you think's going to win the Super Bowl this weekend?
Oh man, you trying to get me in trouble with that one. Let me first say that I'm a 3rd generation Bucks fan, man. My grandfather and his twin brother were original the first season Bucks fans, season ticket holders, and they used to take their RV to the old Tampa Bay Bucks stadium, and they tailgated and everything. So it's kind of worked its way down to me. Like, for the most part, my family is Bucks fans. So I really don't have a skin in this fight or whatever have you. But if I got to call it, I'm going to pull for Philadelphia. I'm going to be honest. I'm tired of Kansas City, man. The Swifties can go. I'm tired of the Swifties. I'm tired. You know what I mean? And you know, I feel like, you know, with the league, I'm not saying that Kansas City there's any kind of trickery going on, but I feel like when you see so much film, and you're like, wow, Kansas City is getting this call, but other teams are not, and you know, you can't even sneeze in the direction of Mahomes. If you sneeze in that direction, it's a flag. So, you know, I'm over the Kansas City Chiefs, man. You know, come on, let's go Philadelphia. And I will add this. My recent visit to Philadelphia for that game, I got to see Philly and spend time there. And that was the first time that I had been able to spend time to that capacity. I have a new love for Philly. It is an amazing city. The people are amazing. What the sports there are amazing. It definitely made my trip made me a fan of Philadelphia and its sports organizations.
Yeah, it's a big dilemma for me too. I was telling Gary, I'm a Cowboys fan, so I'm tired of the Chiefs and Mahomes, and I don't really want to root for the Eagles, but I guess I'm going to have to. So,
man, you got a sad future, man. If you're a Cowboys fan, I laugh at you guys every year, man. Every year, we're going with this Cowboy season. Then something happens, man. It's a rough time for you, bro. It's a rough time.
It's been a rough life. So.
They need you. They need you to come in. Jared needs to let you come in and make some decisions or something on his behalf, because it's a struggle out there, dude.
Yeah, y'all won a championship in Tampa Bay since the Cowboys. So. All right, man. Appreciate your time tonight, man. We'll talk down the road.
I appreciate you, man. You're doing a great job. Keep up what you're doing, man. And I love it. I follow you as much as I can and keep up with what you're doing, man. Just continue doing the great work, and your platform is awesome.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
All right, dude. Bye.
This has been Inside the AF1. We'll see you next week, next Thursday night, every week throughout the rest of the season. So always remember, catch the rebound off the net.